Hey there, Justin Chamness here, and welcome back to another episode of the Lease Option live stream. This is a Thursday edition. I believe today's Thursday. You guys lose track of days sometimes. I think everybody does sometimes, but I'm pretty bad about it. You know, when you work from home and you do what you want when you want, every day, what is the weekend to you, really? I mean, every day is Saturday. So what is a Thursday or a Tuesday? I'm going to do what I want today. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. I want to talk to you about creative real estate, and I want to talk to you about a gateway drug in creative real estate, which I find to be lease options. Why do I say lease options? Because lease options are probably the easiest to find sellers willing to do this with you. Okay, that's just my opinion, but I really believe that, and there's a reason for it. And let me share with you the reason, and I'll show you on a chart that I have. If you'll go over to realestateWholesalersClub.com, which this is what it looks like currently. It changes a lot, but you can see there I am wearing a little Santa Claus hat. By the way, in the menu there, you'll see there is a free 3-step pathway to millionaire using lease options. This is absolutely free. Put your email and all that in there, that kind of thing. Here we have an online event that I'm hosting at the end of the month. It's about you setting up your goals and all of that good stuff. Okay, getting a real plan for 2024. You know, like I tell my kids, I'm going to tell you, because I feel like a big brother to some of you, and to some of you, I feel like a little brother. But little brother or big brother is going to tell you now that if you don't plan your 2024, somebody's going to plan it for you. Okay. And if you want to be like, oh, well, that sounds like a prophecy. Well, you could probably bank on it, because that's how it is every year. If you go to realestateWholesalersClub.com, you can find that event. You can click there and go subscribe. It is $29 for a 3-day challenge, 1 hour each day. Very private, very intimate, very powerful. All right. Now, if you'll go to realestateWholesalersClub.com and just slide down, you'll see there is a chart here. And you can right-click this chart, and you can save the image as, or you can hold it on your phone and save it as a picture. But let me zoom in here a little bit so you can see it better. All right, that's a little better. And here we go. Now let's look. This has all the different strategies that most of us are familiar with. Of course, there are other strategies and techniques in creative real estate that aren't on this chart, but these are the majors. All right. Everybody that's anybody in the business at all, whether you're a pretty house or ugly house or just getting into the business, you're knowing and learning and growing about this strategy here, the all cash discount offer. So this is the ugly house business, typically the all cash discount offer. And you can see it's mostly ugly. Sometimes it could be a pretty house. That's why I put that there. It could be, but mostly it's ugly. The deed transfers right up front. Okay. You're going to get a contract. You're going to assign it to that buyer, and it's going to close in hopefully like 10 days. Okay. That's why people like this, because they think it's quick money, but the numbers are pretty rough when it comes to cold calling. All right, I can tell you that, and also direct mailing. You get paid immediately. I'm sorry, the seller's mortgage gets paid off immediately. You get paid immediately, you know, at closing. So like I was saying, in about 10 days when it closes at the title company. You guys know the ugly business. Are there any payments going to the seller? No, not really, because everything's going to close up at the title company and just be one and done kind of deal. All right. Now, the question you would ask if you found an ugly house homeowner, you would say, hey, Mr. Homeowner of the ugly house, hey, you ugly house homeowner, you. Yeah, that sounds bad. Don't say it like that. But Mr. Homeowner, if I were to pay you all cash and close quick, what is the least you can accept? Okay. That would be how you would kind of break into a conversation about ugly house deals. So you can see that would only fit certain people, certain types of homeowners. Look at the subject too, though. This is a very, very popular strategy. All right. It could be an ugly house. It could be a pretty house. The deed could transfer now. That's right. The deed's you're going to close, and you're going to at the title company. The deed's going to transfer to you, the investor, or unless you're assigning it, and then it's going to transfer to those folks. You're new buyer, but it's going to transfer up front here. That's what subject to is it's going to the deed is going to transfer up front. But look at the seller's mortgage. You're going to pay it monthly. So it's going to stay in the homeowner's name, the mortgage, while the house goes in your name. Okay, I don't know. I'm a good salesperson, but there's very limited candidates that are ready for that type of risk. You say, well, what kind of risk? Well, not the investor risk, but the homeowner, talking the homeowner into, hey, let me have the house deed. I'll take the house deed and you keep the mortgage your name, and I want you to trust me to pay the payment for you. I don't know. I'm a great salesman, but man, that just seems like a toughie. And another thing that strikes me is would I tell my mother to do this with some stranger we just met? No. I wouldn't. So why do I want to go do that to your mother? Okay, I don't know. I'm not saying it's ethically wrong. I'm just saying I've personally struggle with the concept of a business that is based on just going and getting subject to property, especially if you're new. Okay, if you've got training in it and you're great at it, wonderful, man. Teach me something. Okay. But here's the thing, if you're brand new, to me, that sounds like a hard hill to climb. Look at the question on the sub 2. Mr. Homeowner, if I were to take the house off your hands, allowing you to walk away, would you allow us to continue making your mortgage payment for you right away? Yeah. See, if we were to take the house off your hands, I'm going to get that deed right away. And then you're going to keep that mortgage in your name, man. And then I'm going to pay it for you. Is that cool? All right. I mean, there are some sellers out there that need that. That's absolutely right. The ones that are financially on the balls of their ass. That's right. Knocked down, completely down. All right. Those are the ones that need it. Now, let's just slip over here. As we go further to the right, things get a little bit easier for the investor to talk about with the homeowner. And I don't know if you've noticed that, but as you slide to the right on this chart and you go from subject to wraparound, it gets a little bit more palatable for the homeowner. And then you go to seller carryback, and it could be a seller carryback with a subject to, which is a little more palatable than just a subject to, right? It could just be a seller carryback if the house is free and clear. They don't owe anything. That's pretty palatable. Installment for deed, that's contract for deed or land contract, even more easy to talk to the homeowner about. And then lease purchase. Look at this little shining star down here on the right, like the little star of Bethlehem. Oh, lease purchase of Bethlehem, how sweetly we see thee lie on this chart. Okay. I love Christmas time, everybody. Lease purchase. Look at this. Mostly pretty, some ugly houses. The deed is going to transfer later, so the homeowner doesn't have to give up the deed to the property right now. The seller gets to continue being in charge of their mortgage. Now, the third column, the third row down here, is there a payment to the seller? Sure, there's a lease payment. So you see the homeowner is not, we're not asking him to give us the house and then keep the mortgage in his name or nothing. All we're asking him basically is this question here. You see in the question box, if I were to pay your monthly payment, sir, and cover all the repairs on the property, would you allow me a 24-month lease and allow me to purchase it within that time frame? Pretty cut and dried, simple. A whole lot less risky for mama. See, a whole lot less risky than, hey, sign over the old deed-a-row and keep the mortgage in your name there, bud. I promise you, I'm a good guy. And let me tell you what's happening, and it makes me mad. All right, it makes me mad, and I'm going to try not to scream in the microphone because I'm a kind kind of a dynamic kind of character, and I'll go from 0 to 6, slip up to 10, and scream in the microphone. I don't know why. But it's happening out there a lot. All you got to do is follow the sub 2 groups, and you find that what these bozos are doing is they're contracting these properties, taking over the deed, promising to make the mortgage payment for the homeowner because they're going to keep the mortgage in their name. They're going to take all the risk on this, and then you know what the bozos are doing? They're not making the payment. You ought to go to jail for it. It's fraud, in my opinion. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to collapse the entire industry because you give everybody a crap name. Because not everybody's doing sub 2 that way, but that is happening. All right, so I prefer the lease option model because it allows the seller to keep some freaking dignity. All right? Well, you can make the payment directly to the mortgage company in a lease purchase, just like you could in a subject to. Now, I'm not here to battle it out like, oh, subject to versus lease purchase. Maybe that's what I should have named this. And I didn't even anticipate talking about this today. However, I think it's a thing that maybe I just needed to say. I don't know. I just feel like subject to just gets blue light, blue sky. It gets blue skied by everybody, but nobody really wants to talk about what's going on in some of that shenanigan business. I'm just saying. So I prefer, it's why, okay, this is what got me going on this, is I said that lease options is a gateway drug, and it is. See, it's a way to talk to the homeowner without having to take the homeowner's deed and then say, hey, listen, keep the mortgage in your name. Man, that just seems hard. How many guys are you going to talk to today that are going to be cool with that? I don't know, man. Roll the tape. There's like tons of people out there saying, oh, look, I just contracted this and I just made a gabillion, tillion, billion, shillion. Okay, great. Maybe I need to learn something. But I am good at lease purchase because everybody can do it. Why would I want to work so hard? I hear guys telling me, hey, listen, I got this. I watch these testimonials too, and it just drives me crazy. Drives me crazy because they're like, hey, listen, we're out here hustling, yo. We ain't even got time to even begin to slow down and get full names because we're just getting initials from people right now because we're that fast, man. We can't even slow down. On the phone, knocking on doors, pounding the pavement, making calls, got the dialer, got the staff of virtual assistants, cold calling, raw data all day, all night. I'm showing up at the closings of the phone calls and trying to help the virtual assistant slam dunk some new ones and train some new people. Wow. Meanwhile, I'm going to go on a cruise. So I don't know. That's what I'm thinking, okay? I'm going to go to Branson. I'm going to go to the beach. I'm going to go to Gulf Shores. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be fun because I'm going to run a little scrape today, and I'm going to do a little text blast today, and I'm going to send out 180 text messages. You know what that's going to cost me? About $5. You add in my beehive and my extracurricular messages back and forth and stuff that I'm going to do when I'm talking to some of these 180 that I send out today. I might spend all of $10 today. Oh, yeah. And I'm going to have 3, 4, 5, 6 motivated homeowners to talk to that said, yes, I'm right off the bat. Yes, I'm interested in leasing my property and selling it during that time frame. Okay, great. Now, all we got to do is work out that you don't need some big, humongous down payment and that you're not too crazy on your purchase price or your rent, and we're good to go, Mr. Homeowner. What are the things that we need to talk about before I send this agreement over to you? Hello? I'm just saying. I ain't trying to talk to Mr. Homeowner now. Let me tell you what we could do here. Yes, sir. We could. I don't know what do you owe on that mortgage. I don't even give a shit, really. I kind of do, but not much. If he's offering me fair market rent or less, if he's offering me purchase price that fair market value or less, if the guy seems like he's a pretty intelligent individual, fine with me. I'll assign the thing and take 5, 10 grand, put it in my pocket. Maybe 15. I tell people my average is 15. I'm going to start showing you. I get wires. Okay. So I saw somebody post on this the other day. Again, see, that's what's happening. See, my mind's corrupted today because of an overwhelming invasion of social media into my eye ports. All right. That's the problem. It aggravates me because I feel like there's so much horse shit out there. It's just crazy. And people love it, man. That's the best part. I need to just become a total, I just need to be, never mind. Never mind. All right. I even forgot what we were talking about even. We're supposed to be talking about this, and I'm preaching about the corruption of social media. Well, it is pretty corrupt out there, and there are some people selling you a bill of goods, and you know if you're buying it, hey, all power to you. But I'm just telling you, here's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to run a text of 180 texts for sale boners, for rent boners. I'm going to have probably anywhere between 2 and 6 people raise their hand and say, yes, I would consider leasing my property and selling it to you during that time frame. I'm then going to continue to ask them a few questions over text, and it's going to basically amount to these. I'm going to make sure that that they're the owner, that's not on the MLS, that it's available sometime soon or now, that the monthly's not too crazy, and that the down payment's not too crazy. And then I'm going to ask them if they want to Zoom or call. I'm going to get on the phone with them, and I'm going to start talking to them. And I got a little formula where basically I'm just going to verbally go over what I just showed you there. And at the end, I'm going to say, okay, sir, I think I might be able to send you a written offer here. Can I get your email address? And then let's set an appointment where after I've sent you the agreement, we can talk about it. So after that, I get off the phone. And then it's all up to me. I'll look at the deal. I'll decide right then and there if I want to send an agreement or not. And if I don't, I'm done. I don't tell the guy nothing. I just throw him in the trash and hit block. I don't care. I'm cold. I'm calloused. I'm ruthless. Not really, but I definitely will do that. I will throw him away and I will block him, and he will be done, and we will never talk again because I decided that the information he gave me did not warrant me sending a written offer. However, if it does, I have his email address. I send him a written offer. I confirm again over text that second appointment and that I've sent him the agreement. And then on that second appointment, I have to answer any questions, objections he has, and if I'm successful. If I am successful at answering his questions, his stalls, his objections, his what ifs, and well maybes, and I don't knows, and can you explain? And if I'm successful there, guess what happens? That's right. He signs the deal. All right. So I don't know if that sounds hard to y'all. I'm not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's simple. But I don't know. Turn up the heat a little bit. Let's turn the flame up a little bit and say let's assume you didn't know how to do that, and all you were trying to do is subject to. You're going to go over and you're going to try to drop subject to. This lease option is a total gateway drug for growing into subject to. All right, I do subject to as well, but very rarely. Very rarely is it appropriate to take the deed of someone's property while leaving the mortgage in their name. That's just my opinion, okay? And again, you know, you're entitled to yours and I'm entitled to mine, but that don't make mine right. But I'm just telling you, that's how I feel about it. Because my process is super duper cheap, super duper everyday, super duper simple. And all I got to do is run the process. What was the process again? I send out a text message to for sale by owners and for rent by owners. Would you be interested in selling your property during a 24-month lease? If we lease the property for 24 months, would you be interested in us buying the property during that time frame? And when they say yes, I then talk to those over text and I ask them these questions. And when I've confirmed these questions, and by the way, if you're in my club, I've got a cheat sheet for you to help you get through these questions. But when you get through these questions, then you get on the phone with them, and then you basically go over these verbally, and you get his email address, and you set a time for a second appointment. It's that simple. Okay? And if you're successful on the second appointment, if you decide that there needs to be one, then the guy signs the deal. That's just how that works. Okay. I wanted to get into the objections. I name this stuff wrong all the time. This is one of the most important questions ever. My big closer question. Okay. You guys want to know my big closer question? Yeah. Because lease options is this easy. Now, I'm not telling you to go out there and in this market right now, we need to be getting houses under contract at fair market value or just not more than 105%. Okay. Can I just put it that way? And that sounds absurd too, really, even to me a little. Like it needs to be about fair market value, not more than 105% for sure. I'm not offering 105%, but if the homeowner's driving, I'll still look at a deal up to about 105% to see if I want it or not. Okay. That's my point. But about 105% is the cap right now. Okay. If the guy's wanting more than that, throw him in the trash. Okay. That's easy. But anyway, my big closer question and why I like lease options is because I can give them full market value. I can give you full market rent, sir. The only thing I can actually even set this up where you're not required anymore to take care of the maintenance on the home, sir. But here's the thing. I just need you to be flexible with me in one way. Mr. Homeowner, if we were to lease the property for 24 months and purchase it during that time frame, is that something we can talk about or not? And whatever he says, for the most part, I get to say this. Well, if I put all this in our agreement today, does that make you comfortable enough to move forward with me? I mean, how hard can it be? Can't be that hard. Can't be that hard. Oh, I was going to tell you, I'm starting to have people send me banker checks so I can show you because I don't show enough, and I want to show you. So I'm having people send me banker checks. I'm starting doing that. I saw somebody post online about that, and they're like, and then everybody would comment was like, "Well, dude, I get wire transfers. What do you?" He's like, I'm doing the checks because I need to show everybody this is legit and whatever. I don't know what that guy's about, but I do know that there is something to what he's saying. Okay. Look at this one. What happens if you take over my house subject to my, this is subject to, we're going back to the subject to topic here. But then you stop making my payment, right? What if you stop making or quit making my mortgage payment during a subject to? All right. Well, here's what the back of the card says, okay? And this is my flashcard, and I say this if I'm talking about a subject to, okay? It says, well, sir, Mr. Homeowner, it could actually work out in your benefit. I mean, once we've resolved any outstanding payments, we've fixed the property up, modernized it, provide you with some funds up front, discontinuing payments would entail returning the refurbished property keys to you within 30 days. In other words, sir, if I stop making the payments to you, that would mean that I would need to give you the keys back to the property in 30 days. And any improvements I've done to the property, I will have lost. Any investments that I've put into this process, I will have lost. Sir, we can prepare the necessary documents in this manner to ensure that you feel comfortable with this solution and are ready to proceed. That is the parachute, y'all. That's the subject to parachute. That's what I think of it when I say like that is the subject to parachute. Well, sir, in a worst case scenario, I'll just give you the house back. And you'll just go back to as bad as you are off right now, maybe 1 month worse. I don't know, guys. That kind of business doesn't make me feel good. All right, that's all I'm trying to say. So I like the lease purchase business because the lease purchase business allows me to talk to more homeowners because more homeowners are open to it. That's why it's a gateway drug, which is really what I should have named this video is lease options versus subject to. Lease options, the gateway drug versus subject to, which is a popular technique, everybody. Everybody loves subject to right now. It's great. Hey, I'm all about it when it fits, but I'm not about it for making it my daily thrust. Okay. That's all. I guess my point in general is that. Okay. I really went off today in a real are we focused? Are we blurry? I don't know. Hopefully not too blurry. Okay. Let me show one more thing and talk about it. If you want to go over to realestatewholesalersclub.com on the page you land on, if you slide down, you can grab this particular cheat sheet if you want it. It is available to you for free. There's nothing you require to put in to get this. It is just a free cheat sheet for you. Okay. So if you are at realestatewholesalersclub.com, take a minute and check out the online event. We're going to put your goals and your plans together. We're going to help you break this down to a day-to-day type scenario, okay? You've got to have some kind of a plan of action on a day-to-day basis. That's what this is all going to be about right here, all right? You can see it's a $29 program. It's a 3-day challenge, 3 hours. It's an hour each day over 3 days, 3 hours total. Play only for those who purchased the ticket, $29. I am keeping this a small, intimate gathering because we need actually to keep it that way so we can make it more about you and make it more powerful. Okay, Zoom is kind of jacked up on me here, so I'm going to try to sign off right now. I'm not sure if you're even hearing me. This screen share thing, they've updated it and broke it, so it doesn't really work all the time anymore. You know how that works. Bill Gates! No, he probably is the guilty party, though. I don't know. To me, it's not a good thing when they update things and then it doesn't work as good as it used to. All right. So, all right. Hey, I love you. I don't know what's happening with Zoom. I will see you next time. All right.